Let's continue. Continue. Alrighty. Um, okay, so we're actually on chapter 5. So let's go ahead and start by let's bring up Redot. Let's bring up not the older ones. Pop. Let's check this out. And see what do I now I did not modify this yet, so let's go ahead and do that with my notes from yesterday. I still have to new version. Copy. Go over to here. And we are just going to replace this. Actually, let me see some here. Um, okay. So let's do something first. Let's take this out. Copy. We're going to go over here. And I'm going to original version. Um, modified original. That. That. I wish it wouldn't do it like that. Control Z. Unformatted text. Still didn't do it. Okay, whatever. Let's do check this out. I'm not gonna worry about if it's doing double spacing. We'll just let it. In fact, I will go ahead and remove the asterisks. Okay. And okay. Okay. Modified original. And then new version. Check and copy. Copy. Let's go over here. And let's just go ahead and paste. Oh, that's weird. Well, don't I actually have a space? Oh, interesting. I don't have a space. It didn't somehow. Okay. So what if I do a shift enter here. Same thing here. This shift enter, enter. Okay, cool. And we'll save. Because really, what? Let's see. To make sure not to press the middle mouse button, because in some of these it pastes, which is weird to me, but that's the way that goes. Let's go ahead and copy. Let's go ahead and replace this. Paste. That's what I want. That's what it is. There we go. There's a we goes. The year B2026 under Q. Am streaming right now. We'll see how far I can get towards finishing chapter 5. Hopefully, I'll be able to get chapter 5 done today. So these are the deals, and then I'm not sure if I should put my decision points in the middle of these, or if I should put them like after, like in between. Because I think these are just like scenes or whatever. So here, we'll do this. We'll control save. We'll save room data. Make sure that's all hunky dory. And okay. All right. Even John decided to find and rescue the princess by contacting his old friend, the Count. He pretends the Count sends the Count to the Grand Gentilanian Hotel. Okay, that's just your first page. Now this is actually here. Meanwhile, in the wine cellar of the hotel, the princess is tied to a wine cask with the help of some mice. She manages to get free of the ropes binding her. The princess explores the cellar until she spots a dumbwaiter and climbs inside. After getting out of the hotel's dumbwaiter, the princess searches for a way out of the hotel. Okay, so I'm actually gonna. I know I'm using I'm using AI too much probably, but I'm gonna use it. So it's here. It's a tool. I can use it if I want to. Yeah, I forgot about the fact that the conversation's actually getting a little too long. Um, um, yes. Uh, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do this. Um, I'll go all the way to the top. Okay. Here's a summary. Sir William. Vivid characters. Da da da. Right here. Phase 1. Foundation. $13. Did I get it? I didn't get it down to 13. I don't think. Oh. Let's see. Would you come up with a summary of my game in my project? Not what I'm specifically doing at the moment, which is in the middle of chapter 5. Just an overview. Uh, just an overview that I can carry into a new conversation. Absolutely. Here is a portable suitcase size overview you can plop down in any chat like a seasoned adventurer entering a tavern. All ages 2D fantasy comedy adventure built in phases, gradually evolving from simple choice-based interaction to fully animated point-and-click experience. Tone's lighthearted humorous, focus on story characters, classic adventure charm rather than twitchy action. Think whimsical fairy tale if the fairy tale had a sense of timing and a smirk. Okay. Development wrote projects being built in Redot, good old 4.3 fork using JSON. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um, it means I have to. I guess when I start a new dealie, I guess I should just do it directly instead of asking it to summarize because it's not a bad thing leaving parts out, but it's kind of like leaving some main things out, and then you know it doesn't have all the phases. I only share a few of the phases as I'm working on them or as I'm exploring them. There's something like almost I think 20 phases here. There we go. What am I up to? How many phases am I up to right now? I'm up to 17 phases right now, and I might even add. I think I actually do have a dialogue system phase somewhere. Puzzle. Hmm. I don't actually have a dialogue system. That's interesting. I'll have to make that I'll have to make that a vision. It will be revision whatever is next in the Greek alphabet. But I'll get to that later. Um okay, thanks. Um maybe okay, this doesn't mean not getting into the game until I actually get into the game. I'm cyber range legit exploiting one. Yeah, useful. Yeah, it's good to find useful cases. I mean, I'm not even using it to completely write me something. I might in the future see if I could make like a mobile game or something that could make me money just to see if I could get an AI to write one for me, depending on what AI it is. But that's not really what I'm doing here. Uh, I use it, of course. Well, you already know because you've already watched some of these, but I obviously use it to bounce ideas off of, sort of like rubber, but rubber, but I sorry about that. Sort of like a rubber duck debugging. Say that 5 times fast. It's the same idea. You use inanimate object to bounce stuff off of, except for the inanimate object is now acts like a person, so it's almost like it's not an inanimate object, right? I use that for that, and then I also use it to help me get out of ruts and to structure things, and yeah. So I never want this is my game, so I never want an AI to like wholly come up with stuff that I just use directly. Occasionally, there's something that's too good for me to pass up, but other than that, um, yeah. Anywho, let's. So I have to start a new conversation because this conversation is so long that it's getting sluggish. And I find you have to do that in Grok in here, and it braves search engine Leo. Um, it at least before, not maybe not now, but before it would start giving garbled responses because it was just feeding back on itself. It filled up the memory. Apparently, it must have used local memory or something, and so it filled it all up. And you have to start doing conversation at that point. But you have to do that in these anyways. So let's go to uh, is it settings here? No, personalization. No, it's settings. I think. Okay, and where is the? Maybe that doesn't do it anymore. Let's see. Let's check out personalization first. Style and style and tone, memory. Okay. Manage. See some here. I can tell it not to keep track of dates anymore. Honestly. Yeah, go ahead and delete the memory. Delete that. Found out minimum scale. Okay, that's not even important. See how it's getting purely informational story beats to maintain. Okay, that's fine. Front gate of the castle. Uh, yeah, the east side is always to the right, makes it easier to orient them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not really important here. Okay. I'm gonna delete this because I'm gonna start this from scratch because I got 17 phases in here and um is using redot. Okay, that's all right. Streaming development of the game, plans to record segments for editing, strategy to share. Uh, okay, so I can go ahead and delete that because I'm on a new version. Um, yeah, go ahead and delete that. Really make villains playable. Uh, in phase 3. Uh, subplot. Delete. Account subplot where I was finding a mate. That's See, that's all story stuff that doesn't really ChatGPT doesn't really need to remember that because that's usually what I'm working with at the time, and then I write the stuff down. Vampire Princess, yes. At one time he was gonna maybe go after the cook in the Grand Enchanted Landian, but I since changed that story. Yeah. Okay, Dark Magical Experiments. Sir William the Unicorn. I honestly could. Well, maybe I don't know if I would want to show all the characters or save it all the characters. I can leave that there just because that's so integral to my story here. Use games on all age appropriate 2D animated fantasy content. Okay, our latest version of the roadmap is it's actually Ada now or Ada. I don't know how you pronounce that, but okay, so we'll delete that. Okay, I can just leave the rest of this here. So that's good there. Let ChatGPT reference recent conversations when responding. That's a to me that's a big boom right there. May use memory to see. Look at this. Google AI Studio is free, right? As is the Gemini app. But they will use your stuff for training data. Now, I don't really have that much of a problem with that. In fact, I almost think that they should do some of that. Of course, not maybe with your permission or whatever. So it should be assumed that anything you enter into a chatbot or into an AI is immediately useful for training data for that AI. You know, that should be kind of a given. Like whenever you use it, you should always assume it, even if it doesn't say it, even if it says it explicitly doesn't do that, right? But even they're doing it. ChatGPT may use memory to personalize queries to search providers such as Bing. Now, like I said, I don't really have that much of a problem with that. It's just the fact that they're all doing it. So if you're gonna ever use these AIs, you gotta realize that they're gonna use your stuff whenever you enter it in. So you know whatever you enter in online on the web is being used by any and all AIs. You just gotta remember that. Web search, yep. Code, sure. Canvas, text and code, voice. Uh, yeah, I haven't used voice mode, but I'll go ahead and let it do that. Connector search. Let ChatGPT automatically search connected sources. I wonder what connected sources are. But I'm not interested in that right now. Right now we're interested in the game, right? So okay. New chat. And I'm sure I have this written down somewhere. Actually, let's go ahead and see if I have it written down somewhere. Let's go into here. Let's go into maybe odds and ends, or maybe no, not that. Maybe the actual project page, redot projects, game design documents. Um, that's not it either. I guess I don't really have that, which means I have to retype it in again, and then I have to either save it or maybe I'll have ChatGPT remember it, put it in its memory. So, if you check out other stations, I'm making an adventure game. So you're just gonna have to bear with me. This will be boring stuff or stuff you already know because I gotta retell it in this new conversation. What I'm doing here. So yeah, I'm making an adventure game. And memory. Make an adventure game. It's in the end. Wait, in the final version, it's going to be a 2D, fully interactive point and click graphic adventure. Okay. However, I'm making it in iterations, or what I call phases. I have something like 17 different phases and might be 18 here soon. The first phase, okay. With each phase, I will add on to the actual game engine or framework or whatever you're going to call it. Framework. We'll say framework. It's more apt. And expand the story. The first phase is the choose your own adventure adventure style game. Although it would be hard pressed to be called a game at this point, as there's no multiple endings, no dead ends. Just one end in a linear fashion. I am adding decision points to allow the player/reader to choose their response to give the player a small sense of agency. Okay, agency in this particular phase. Okay. Yeah, I gotta explain here. Each phase, okay. So right now it's just an interactive narrative, but it's interactive more or less. Okay. As far as the story is concerned, it's about a magic kingdom turned tourist kingdom turned tourist resort. I don't know if I need the hyphens. I definitely don't need the hyphens for the chat thing. But when I think of you know, what's that, magna cum laude or whatever that is, of course those don't have hyphens in them either. But it's because it's a phrase, like it's a phrase. So I'm just putting hyphens in there. It's just a thing for me, or when you read it, or when you look at it, to know that it's like a single line kind of thing. Right? That's fallen on hard times. A previously vanished figure is rumored to have returned. Citizens, real life Magic Kingdom Return Tourist Resort. Previous citizens and tourists alike have started disappearing. Almost everything is closed down. The king started acting strangely and sold Enchanted lands, the name of the kingdom, to a guy named Maximilians. I almost wonder, because Maximilians is too on the nose. It's alliteration. Millions meaning he's got a ton of money, whatever. And so it kind of sounds kind of dumb, sort of. Maximilian is doesn't have an O. It doesn't have two L's either. But I wonder if I should spell millions with an A, as in the name, Maximilians. Right? The spelling is wrong for the word millions. I'll leave it millions, I guess. That's all right. But maybe I'll change it later on. Just like Princess Karen is Karin, not Karen. And before you say anything about Karens, this is an idea for a name I actually had for another story. And it sounds goofy too, but I called her Karen Hart, as in caring heart, right? You know, be like carrying heart, but spelled Karen Hart like that. You know. Um. Anyways, I mean it's kind of a dumb idea, but so I named Princess Karen with an I, just because to make it a little bit different looking than um different looking uh when you read it, so it doesn't quite look like how we'd spell it here in our realm, right? Anyways, just to give it a little fantasy vibe, a little, you don't have to like change stuff too much and make it sound too weird, but just something just uh, a little bit different than typical, but still understandable, basically. Uh, which he would never have done before. Uh, um, so the king's chief advisor and best friend, the wizard Hubert, or as he calls himself, halfway Hubert, is trying to figure out what's going on. Okay. I have many interesting characters, um, all with their own motivations and uh, arcs. Okay. Okay. That should, I guess, be enough, right? Do I need more than that? I explained a little bit. Okay, the one last thing I'll do is talk about what I'm using to actually make it. So, here, I'm using the Redot engine, which is a fork of Godot 4.3, so functionally equivalent. Oh, it did it again. Equivalent. Um, they're actually up to Redot 4.4, and I may switch to that in the near future. Okay. I've been working since November 2024, and had worked on a version um, up until November of 25. Um, when I rebooted the phase. So originally I had 93 story beats, or what I called story beats, and I would put decision points to bridge the gaps between beats. And it was taking forever, almost a year of work, when originally I had planned to just make a shortened form for phase 1, finishable in a few months. I know finishable isn't. I'll do it like that, I guess. Finishable in a few months. End up taking longer, so I had restart. So now I'm a quarter of the way into the newly restarted phase 1 that I hope to get finished by the end of March or sooner. Now, let's see, what else relevant information do I need? Take longer, so I had to restart. So now I'm a quarter of the way into the newly restarted phase 1 that I hope to get finished by the end of March or sooner. Is that it? Is that it? Finished by the end of March or sooner. Is going quicker now, so I have some hope to do this. I guess that's it. What else would it need to know other than the specific problem or the specific thing that I'm working on right now? The current phase 1 is organized into about 19 chapters, which are either scene or character shifts. And I'm in chapter 5 right now. So please log this into your memory so I can recall it in later conversations. Please acknowledge when you have done this, and then I'll start asking you for some help. Thank you. Okay. That's going slow. I wonder why. Okay, so let's just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and copy this now so that I have a basis anytime that I need to pull it up. Although this is going to save it. Hopefully it'll be in memory and saved. Okay. So now let us go here. Maybe I should, you know what? I'll put it at the very top. Okay. And do this. Edit as of Thursday, January 1st, 2026 at approximately 12:15 p.m. EST. All right. So I created created a new conversation for a chat GPT, and I I'm using this each time I need to start a new conversation. Okay, Control B. Then we'll just yep, boom. Let's do it one less. Okay, so let's save it. And so now, whenever I need to start a new conversation, all I do is I just open this up. And let's do this too, so I know. I like to separate with spaces or like hyphens or something, or asterisks, so that I know where to stop and start. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll save that. Maybe I'll close that for right this second. I might need it again, but we'll do that. Okay. So now I have about 45 minutes left, which is usual for me, I guess. I always have something that where I don't start and don't fully utilize the time just for what I'm working on. Okay. Okay. So, um, in chapter 5, we have don't put anything into memory, anything into memory unless I ask you to. Thank you. Okay. See, it's having a hard time right now. Maybe it's really busy yet or something. This is a new conversation, so it shouldn't be too bad right now. Um, you did leave that uh, first. What do you call that? Uh, First text I put in there and told you to save, right? Yeah. No, do not delete that project info. I'll use that in future conversations. Okay, let's get to the thing here. Chapter 5. The princess gets a room. So the princess was kidnapped and taken to one of the few hotels open inside Enchanted, and called the Grand Enchanted Inn. And tied up to a wine cask in the wine cellar. Uh, Please acknowledge. Okay, acknowledged. That is certainly not on the brochure. Yeah, yeah, we know. Okay. Okay, so let me paste the chapter contents. Essentially, story beats in the chapter. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy. Okay. Uh, okay, there we go. Acknowledge. All right, so I'm determining places to put decision points. Would it, let's see, would it be better to put them in between the beats? Oh, I keep forgetting. In between should be a single word now. You know, they could make stupid new words now. They could certainly make in between a single word now in English language, I think. Okay. Or should I put them inside the individual beats? Might be a bit hard because you don't want that many. Actually, it wouldn't be that hard because it would be in the middle three, and it would be in between each of those. So you would still have three of them. But you'd still have the same number, I think. Individual, individual, individual. There we go. Please keep answers succinct. And don't make any extra suggestions unless specifically asked for them, please. Thank you. When the player's perspective, focus in the moment has emotional. Okay, yeah, I mean, I get it. Well, as it applies to the current chapter 5 text I just pasted, where would you put decision points in? How should you guys get free mice? Where to search first, whether risk noise or stay quiet, dumbwait or moment, climbing now, scout more first, rooms with maps and documents, what to grab, whether to grab anything at all, cat spying at window, which window to check first, whether to reveal himself briefly, wine spill distraction idea, knock bottle versus alternative distraction versus watch longer. Hubert at guarded. That's not a bad idea there. Um, Alternative distraction or watch longer. You may watch and it would still be the same effect, you know. I mean, I have to figure it out because she's drinking her wine, and so the idea is actually, since this is just purely narrative and stuff, and it results in the same option, he could choose the option to stay and watch longer, and then the idea is he stayed and watched long enough for her to finish her wine bottle and go get some more, and that results in the same result. But it's I might do that. That's actually not a bad idea. Um, so the first beat is essentially set up. Uh, so no decision point within that one. If I do uh, put one, put the first one in the um, second beat, then what's above the decision point automatically becomes part of story beat one. Does that make sense? Oh, I meant to remove the extra T. Before that effectively becomes part of beat one iterative setup. Beats are class elastic. The moment you cut the decision, you're redefining where the beat begins and ends. So yes. Uh, okay. See, now I have to use whatever the other the lower GPT is. So apparently this is doing based on I don't know what it's doing based on. Is it based on responses or what? Because I just started this conversation. Well, no, I did a little bit in the other conversation, didn't I? So I asked to summarize, but still. Okay. And then of course the last beat is the end result. The end result is they go to rescue the princess. So no decision point in there either. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, and it really hasn't helped me exactly. It does it has sort of. So I'm not saying it doesn't. It hasn't helped me here, but if I'm gonna put decision points, I'm gonna be putting it in here now. The thing is it's gonna push these up to 6, I guess, huh? Um, Here, let's just for right now, and not because I'm gonna use it that way. Let's just put a spot in between. Okay. Actually, this one wouldn't have that. Surround hides again. Hmm. Mostly full. Pushes the bottle. Right, and then that's in there. And okay, and then this is. Why did I get the message? Where is that at? Oh, 86 box Deb. Okay, that's nothing to do with me really right now. Bup, 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 bup. Okay, So this is what we have. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4. Okay, that's all right. That's not bad. And I might even follow that exactly, but yeah. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually be 1, 2, and 3 because the first and last thing kind of doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Right. 4 parts, 3 spaces, 4 parts. Actually, that's not bad as far as that goes. So, if I am going to do it this ways, uh, she managed to free the ropes. Okay. Now, okay, so there's 2 things that can go on here. Yeah, Princess explores cellar until she spots a dumbwaiter. After getting out of the hotel, she steers her way out of the hotel. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I need to remove these back again so I can kind of see, because I might need multiple deals. So here goes the Grand Enchanted Landing. Next, we cut to the Grand Enchanted Landing, and now we go to the wine cellar, um, where the princess is tied to a wine cask. Now, to extricate herself, she can't really extricate herself, really. I mean, unless I figure out some ways to do it. That's why, with the help of some mice, right? It's not a puzzle, really. It's um, okay. It's possible when I get to doing dialogue trees and stuff that could be a dialogue puzzle, maybe to try to get the mice to help, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe that'll be a puzzle later on. Um, okay. So really, we got two. We actually got 2 main beats if you want to look at it right, because technically, um, yeah, I know the way I divided it because there's a lot of lines. That's kind of partly why it's divided. But this here has to do with what the princess does and what happens to her, and then these 2 here are what happens to the count and how he finds out his information. Okay, so we have a thing here. Actually, we got a natural break here too. Uh, it's kind of weird because I have to figure out how to like reorganize it. Okay, so I mean I suppose this is boring looking at text and just have me talk about the text, but it's stuff that I got to get done, I guess. And I don't think if there's any way I can visually do this. Unless I've drawn a map and put in locations to where everything is and what they do, and I mean, I should do that, I guess, to make it more interesting. But I can't I can't do something other than what I'm doing here. So I gotta leave it like that. When someone heard her pursue the princess. Okay. So this is where you have some agency in here. The count sneaking in and pushing the bottle over. Like we can actually have 3 different points. Okay. Hmm. Now, like setup and payoff, right? Setup and payoff. The setup here is finding the decoy princess as she's spilling the beans about her situation. So that's the information the count finds out, and then causes her to go back down to the wine cellar, so he can follow and see it for himself. Hmm. Okay, so B2 beats 3 and 4, right? Okay. Okay. So as I see it, there are two main components. The second story beat concerns what the princess does and what happens to her. The ow, shocked myself. It's got metal like here. I don't know if you can see it in the tiny little window there, but and tiny little thing there, but this is metal here, mechanical keyboard. Probably shouldn't have showed it that close to the build because this keyboard's filthy and I need to I need to clean it. You know, it hasn't been cleaned since I bought it, so it's been some time now. It's a mechanical keyboard. Um, so so every time every time I rub my feet on the I guess I'm not sure exactly. It's a floor mat. It's a mat for you to put your chair on. And I guess in my mind the idea is so that the chair can roll freely. In fact, the way I have it, how far in that I have it underneath the desk, it might not be doing me as much good because my back wheels are on the rug. But anyways, that's really not important. Anyways, let's get back to this. Okay, so what happens to the princess and what happened? Okay, so concerns what the princess does, what happens to her. The third and fourth beats concern the count. So if I put a decision point where he makes a distraction, um, let's see. Oh. That would be around the end of the third beat and the beginning of the fourth. Okay. So that means that they say in two spots, and I put the decision points in between there. That's fine. So that takes care of the story on the accounts side. Exactly the place makes sense. Putting the decision at the transition between third and fourth beats let the player influence the count's action without touching the princess early in the story beat 2. Or the resolution beat 5 keeps it neatly narrative. Okay. And it also means beat 2 needs a definite split point. The princess setup ends and the player's decision begins. Before that split remains passive narrative set of everything after it becomes interactive. Alright. So meanwhile, in the wine cellar, the princess is tied to a wine cask. Okay. Where do you suggest split point and beat 2? There's several things she does, which is gets free with the help of some mice. Explores the wine cellar until she spots the dumb waiter and climb inside. When she climbs inside. Alright, what's next? What's next? I don't know, I'm sleepy today. I got some enough sleep last night, I think, but I'm pretty sleepy today for some reason. Explores the wine cellar until she spots the dumbwaiter when she climbs inside. Then she climbs out and runs down the hallway searching for an exit. She finds a room with some important papers, and then is recaptured before she's able to leave. After she frees herself, the real agency moment, what should she do next? Options could be explore quietly, head straight for the dumbwaiter, or try another escape route. Okay, there is a precedent for that because I did write some stuff, especially when Hubert and John come down to rescue her. They managed to go down the stairs. So from the kitchen down the stairs directly into the wine cellar. There's also another entrance in the wine cellar, an opposite entrance that they find, but that's part of the rescue. That's not part of this part. So she probably would spot the stairs and try to go up it and try to see. When she got up the stairs, just before opening the door, she'd probably see through the window. There's a little window, uh, and she'd see the cook, and she'd see a couple of guards out there, and she would know not to open it. No, maybe that's not a way to go. And so this will be another case of doing a deal of an either or kind of thing. So if she goes up the stairs, she's not gonna be able to go out there, so she has to go back down, and then that leads directly to finding the um, the dumbwaiter. And then she goes on the dumbwaiter and then does whatever she does. Um, you capture. Okay. Fix outcome. Okay. second decision, she go for the room with the papers to keep looking for an exit. Right, and I could put it like a couple doors. I could put 3 doors or 2 doors or whatever, and she goes in to try each one. Um, well, because at one point there's a back stairs. In other words, she goes down the hallway. She starts hearing people come up from the back stairs, and so she's forced to duck into like a hamper or something. It's like a a laundry like a laundry hamper, a laundry hopper or something. So even though it's not in the story beats themselves, when I was developing this story, I put in a back stairs. If you go to the end of the hallway, like there are stairs. Um, let's see. Uh, like there's stairs on the right side. That's how people go up to their rooms normally. Uh, and then on each floor, say hallway, and at the end of the hallway is another staircase leading back down to the lobby. So, as she starts to go toward the stairs, she hears footsteps, comes back up, and dives into a laundry, not chute, I guess hamper. Um, to the laundry hamper. Um, um, and a thought just occurred. See, this is the kind of the cool thing about using the AI and using some even a real person to bounce ideas off of. Because this thought just occurred to me as a kind of a logic. Thought just occurred to me that um, if she can tell there's another staircase, she would start to go down, go toward it, and um, she wouldn't stop to check the rooms. Um, and also, even though she's hidden, she's found out shortly thereafter. So, the only obvious decision is to duck into one of the rooms. She needs to stumble on the map room, or else uh, uh, or else they won't find out about Max's ultimate plan. Good. So, but here's the thing. This pass isn't a full CYOA where it dead ends and you have to restart. So, she must find the blueprints. I didn't say this to you before, but it's a giant machine that's capable of opening multiple portals to multiple realms. Realms at the same time and march whole armies into. Must find the blueprints, so the choice can't block story progression. Instead, frame the decision how she discovers them or how quickly she reacts. Does she spot the map room immediately, or she peek around first? Does she grab the only part of the papers, or take everything at once? Does she hide before taking them, or grab them and bolt? This way, the choice adds tension to the player without breaking linear necessity of her getting the blueprints. Um, and there are a few other considerations. There's probably multiple rooms on the floor. I can make it as small as 3 or whatever. So even if she ducks into one, it may not be the right one. So how do I handle that, given that she's going to be recaptured anyway? Since she's going to be recaptured no matter what, you can handle multiple rooms like this. Randomize variable room selection. The story will funnel her to the map room anyway by the time she's found. The choice can change. How long does it take to get the small flavor details? Room's empty, some supplies in here. Narrative soft fill. If she picks the wrong room first, you can describe her realizing it's the wrong one and moving on. Still into the map room before recapture. This keeps tension without breaking linear path. Either way, the recapture is fixed. So the choice mostly affects pacing, suspense, or flavor text. It feels like the meaningful decision without blocking the story. No, you don't have to sketch simple flow, blah, 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 blah. The count deal is actually pretty easy. In fact, it's actually good because it's only one point here. Um, I suppose it's a hotel, and even though hotels don't always have it or haven't always had it, um, let me ask this, and maybe you can search the web for an answer. Has hotels always had connecting rooms? Have hotels always had connecting rooms? Uh, do only some of them have that? or do a majority. I know for a fact that not all of them have that. In fact, I haven't seen the last time. Actually, the last time I've been in a hotel though was like back with the hurricane. I don't remember. It was years ago. Well, it was back. It was a hurricane back before 2019. But anyways, we had to use a hotel for a while. What's funny is it's really funny. Which one was that? Was that Michael or was that Irma? I can't remember because it's when we lived in Lakeland. Um, okay, so basically the funny thing is this area in Lakeland that we were living uh, was situated in such a way that most of the hurricanes that came through there, at least the ones that we were involved with, actually went around. Either it went up above into um, into the armpit, whatever you want to call it, into the corner there, the bend, um, up near like Pensacola or whatever. Uh, but or if it came through the middle of the state, it would stop before it got to us on both sides. So it was pretty well protected. Even in the town of Lakeland, where the winds were like blowing signs and stuff, we were still really pretty safe. But the day after the hurricane, our power went out. Now the funny thing is okay. So there's like three streets. It's like an apartment complex, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. They're like duplexes or whatever, but there's like these three streets, and then there's the back street, and then there's the street up the front, leading to like the main whatever freeway or whatever. And the other two streets were perfectly fine. They had their electricity and everything. We were the only street that didn't have electricity, so our whole street had no electricity for about a week. Uh, just because I don't know something happened to the transformer, some dumb thing happened, and it wasn't even in the storm. The storm didn't cause it. It happened after the storm passed. So that was annoying. So we did put in for FEMA, and we got a couple days, a couple of nights in a hotel, which is pretty good considering how long the power was out. You have to have air conditioning down here. I mean, you have to have it, especially for old people. Old people, while they can't stand the cold for sure, that's why we're down here because it's warm. You can't get too hot either. You can stroke out, and there can be all kinds of problems. So, so yeah, I didn't even know why it went into that. Why did they go into that? About the power being out. What was the deal with that? Oh, just hotel. So I guess the last time I had a hotel was like 2017, 2018, or something like that. 2018 sounds about right. Maybe it was 2018. Uh, and it was like a Motel 6 or something, or a Roadway Inn. I can't remember. I don't have them anymore. Now, hopefully, searching the web doesn't stop this conversation here. Many minor hotels do not include them because they add costs committed in your bill. Some hotels do have them only a minority in today's market. Only a small percentage of properties or be close is pretty believable, but it'd be unusual as a default layout unless you imply the hotel was built with that in mind. Large shopping nobles, families, or groups. It would make my story a bit easier. However, I need to stop for my break, and I'll be back in an hour. Although to you it will feel instant because you probably don't have a concept of time. And feel is not a real word either, but ready to pick up chapter 5. Like, no time's fast. Because for it, no time's fast. Okay. So, I want to thank you for watching part 1, and I will see you in part 2. And we'll get this. Maybe today we'll get these decision point. At least we'll get to the point of the decision points, I guess. So even if it takes till tomorrow to actually finish up, it also means that tomorrow I should be able to finish up chapter 5, which is good. If I can get 2 done a week, actually chapter 4 was longer, and that was partly because of Christmas and whatever. And but I'm counting this as maybe 2 a week. So if I can get 2 a week, I'll be doing great, making great progress. So thank you for watching part 1, and I will see you in about an hour.